Chapter 1. The Cornerstone of Wisdom and Leadership. Bill Ackman began his career in the world of hedge funds, a place where every decision can have far-reaching consequences. Early on, he learned that the foundation of good leadership is not just about making money, but about making the right choices. In a recent interview, he said, "Wisdom is the ability to ask the right questions before you act." This simple truth guided him through his first real test, purchasing a large stake in a struggling retailer and positioning it for a comeback. He faced a crowded marketplace, skepticism from the industry, and the risk of failure. Yet he chose to focus on why the company's core model was still viable, rather than on the noise of short-term trends. That focus kept him steady, allowed him to build a team that believed in a long-term vision, and helped him steer the company to a successful outcome. What you can learn from this story is that leadership begins with curiosity. Ask yourself, why is this important? What evidence supports this move? And use the answers to guide your actions. When you ask the right questions, the path becomes clearer, and others will naturally follow your lead. Concrete steps you can take today include: 1. Pick one decision, big or small, and write out 3 why questions. 2. Review your answers, looking for gaps where assumptions may hide. 3. Share the questions with a trusted colleague and invite honest feedback. Each step reinforces the habit of questioning and reinforces wisdom before action. Key takeaway: a leader's first tool is a well-formed question. By cultivating curiosity, you lay the groundwork for wise decisions that inspire confidence. If you are enjoying this, like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question: what is one question you can ask yourself before making a decision today? Chapter 2. Pillars that sustain wisdom and leadership. Bill Ackman has spoken often about a handful of core principles that he believes underpin effective leadership. 5 stand out and are easy to apply in everyday life. 1. Long-term perspective. Treat each decision as part of a larger journey. 2. Disciplined risk management. Know exactly how much you can afford to lose. 3. Accountability to others. Lead by example and hold yourself to higher standards. 4. Resilience. View setbacks as feedback, not defeat. 5. Ethical focus. Never compromise integrity for short-term gain. He explained once that a good leader is like a gardener. You reap what you plant, but you also protect the garden from pests. This metaphor captures the blend of nurturing growth and safeguarding value. To illustrate, consider his investment in a struggling energy firm. The company was on the brink of collapse, yet Ackman invested a large sum, focusing on long-term restructuring. He anticipated a decade of uncertainty, planted resources, and eventually steered the firm back to profitability. The principle of long-term perspective saved countless jobs and generated sustained returns. Apply this today by aligning your personal goals with a multi-year vision. Write down one objective you want to complete in 5 years and break it into annual milestones. Reward progress, not just final outcome, and revisit your goals periodically, just as Ackman revisited his portfolio. Remember, wisdom is not a static trait. It is a series of habits stacked on each other. By consistently practicing these 5 pillars, you build a solid base that can weather any storm. Key takeaway: wisdom is built layer by layer, using a few core habits that keep you focused, risk-averse, and ethically grounded. If you are enjoying this, like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question: which of these 5 principles do you feel is most missing in your current leadership style? Chapter 3. Living the Wisdom, Ackman in Action. Bill Ackman's career offers rich examples of how he turned principles into practice. A landmark case was his stake in a major discount retailer during the early 2000s. Instead of merely supplying capital, Ackman built a board with a clear mission, hired a strong executive team committed to the long-term strategy, and held the company accountable for both financial and cultural goals. His hands-on approach proved that leadership is participation, not instruction. Another example came from his involvement in a controversial consumer goods company. Many saw risk, but Ackman saw an opportunity to reshape the brand, invest in research, and ultimately deliver value to shareholders while maintaining ethical standards. His decision to keep the company's core values intact showcased his commitment to the ethical pillar. For each of these stories, the common thread is accountability to a broader purpose. Rather than chasing quick gains, Ackman built systems where each member understood the long-term impact and where the stakes were clear and measurable. This created a culture where excellence was the norm and mistakes were treated as learning moments. Today, you may not own a multinational corporation, but you can apply similar tactics. For instance, if you lead a project at work, ask: 1. What is the 5-year outcome we are aiming for? 2. Who must remain invested throughout and why? 3. How will we measure progress beyond the immediate deliverables? By mapping your project to a longer horizon, and by fostering a shared sense of mission, you emulate Ackman's leadership. Key takeaway: wisdom translates into action when you create structures that reinforce a shared long-term vision, maintain accountability, and protect integrity. If you are enjoying this, like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question: what long-term goal could you turn into a shared mission today? Chapter 4. Turning theory into practice. The previous chapters laid the blueprint, but how do you make these ideas part of your daily habits? Start with a simple ritual that blends reflection, action, and accountability. 1. Daily journaling. Each morning, write one question about the day's goal. 2. Weekly strategy review. Assess what worked, what didn't, and why. 3. Peer check-in. Bring a colleague into your reflection space and hear their perspective. These 3 steps mirror Bill Ackman's disciplined risk management, accountability, and resilience pillars. Suppose you're working on a client project. Before the first meeting, ask: what is the core value we are delivering, and how can we keep it intact even if the client pushes back? During the project, measure success not only by meeting deadlines, but by staying true to the project's values and maintaining integrity under pressure. After completion, gather your team and discuss what could be improved. This creates a culture of feedback, resilience, and continuous learning. Remember, the essence of wisdom is the ability to stay grounded while moving forward. By integrating these habits, you create a personal system that amplifies your growth. Key takeaway: embedding wisdom requires routine practices that reinforce questioning, accountability, and ethical action. If you are enjoying this, like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question: which daily habit can you add today to keep your leadership focused on long-term wisdom? Chapter 5. The ongoing journey. Bill Ackman's career demonstrates that wise leadership is a marathon, not a sprint. Each of the 5 principles, long-term focus, disciplined risk, accountability, resilience, and ethics, is a stone in a path that extends well beyond any single investment. To move forward, it is vital to recognize the areas where you can grow. Do you let short-term markets dictate your actions? Do you fear speaking up when something feels wrong? Do you hesitate to admit a mistake? The answers will reveal where to start. The takeaway for you is simple. Commit to the habit of asking, not answering, at the beginning of every decision. Align your actions with a 5-year vision. Hold yourself accountable to those who depend on you. Treat failures as data points, not endpoints. Never trade a sense of integrity for a quick win. As you integrate these habits, you'll find that wisdom becomes instinctive, and leadership flows naturally from your convictions. If you are enjoying this, like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom and leadership. Reflective question: what is the one action you will take in the next month to deepen your own wisdom and leadership?